It's me, and it's time for another. And welcome to Trevor Miller Entertainment, where comic books, musical theater, and classic literature collide. Sorry, I'm trying to do this while charging my phone. It's at 12%. Time for another Marvel vs. DC and Other Media. This one is Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends versus Super Friends. Similarities. Both have my favorite superhero from each company, Superman and Spider-Man. Both added a character exclusively for the show, and then they became so popular that they got added to the comics later on. Firestar and the Wonder Twins, both infamously depowered / nerfed a hero who is actually stronger than he's now given credit for today. Captain America, though he's not a main character in Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and Aquaman. Both have wacky but iconic transition scenes. Both are from that campy era of Saturday morning cartoons, but have their own charm to them as well. I grew up with both shows. Both shows are some of my favorite for each company. Granted, Super Friends, I can't decide if that's genuine or if it's out of spite, because it, along with the DCAU and 2003 Teen Titans cartoon animated series, which are also among my favorite DC animated team shows, got destroyed in the animated Crisis on Infinite Earths, whereas Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends... Actually, that one actually might also be out of spite, because they did do a comic where they get defeated by a villain. And then on that, or in, from the 616 Earth. Okay, I guess there's that similarity, too. Both have a scene in an episode where my favorite from each company fights their shadow and stops it in the same way, putting the light out. Both, I used to think when I was little, were in the same universe as one cartoon involving my favorite from each company, but it's actually in another one's universe. When I was little, I thought Super Friends was the same universe as the Fleischer Superman, but it's actually same universe as the Ruby Sears Superman. And Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, when I was little, I thought was same universe as the 60s Spider-Man cartoon, but it's actually same universe as the 80s Spider-Man cartoon. Both have individual episodes where they go over some heroes' origins. Super Friends in season 1 had an episode where they talk about Superman's origin, and judging by the origin being more Golden Age than Silver Age, like the show's actually based on, I'm guessing that's probably why I thought it was the Fleischer universe. And Batman's origin is dealt with in the last season. And Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends gave all three Spider-Man, Iceman, and Firestar origin episodes. Etc. So which wins? Okay, as I mentioned, I love both shows. I love the camp both bring. And I grew up with both. That said, this is a tough one. I'd probably say I like Firestar as an exclusive character more than the Wonder Twins. And Super Friends is definitely the reason Aquaman's underestimated by fans today. But I would say overall, I preferred Super Friends. Winner DC. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you'll like, subscribe if you want to, and if you do, turn on those post notifications so you never miss a video. Comment below which one of these shows you guys like more, and I'll see you next time. Bye!